Today we're doing keywords and keyword research. If you have questions, save them till the end and we'll make sure we answer them. This is foundational SEO. You're going to pick a keyword string for a new blog post. You're going to pick a keyword string for an existing page on your website. Those are the outcomes that we will have accomplished. Our full overview is that we're going to talk about keywords, keyword strategy, keyword research, Google Trends and other tools, and the Google Keyword Planner. Now, Google Trends and the Google Keyword Planner are the things we actually use to test the keywords we pick. We're going to talk a little bit search speak. You're learning a whole new language. There's going to be a lot of new terms, but over time you're going to get it. Search volume is something you're going to hear about. Search volume is defined as the number of searches for an expected keyword. And we do this to analyze what keywords we're going to pick. You're going to see something called competition. This is in relation to, is it a really sought after keyword that people are always typing in Google, or less people are typing it into Google. Monthly average searches. They show the number of average searches per month. Cost per click is basically inside Google Ads. You're going to see something called CPC, and that's how much you'll pay for a click. Now, if you're wondering why I'm telling you this now, it's because we're going to be going into the keyword planner, which is inside Google Ads. And if you don't have an account, don't worry. We'll set you up an account and you will not have to advertise, which they try to get you to do right away. And then the last one, click-through rate. Click-through rate is the number of impressions divided by the number of clicks. And the reason that we're going to be talking about this is because this makes a huge difference where you show up on a search engine results. We're going to dive into the anatomy of a keyword. As weird as that sounds, it's a little bit of science. We're going to talk about something called seed keywords and head terms, and short tail and long tail and modifiers and search intent. Keywords, there's thousands of them and millions of searches done. We're going to teach you our strategy and approach for picking keywords. And it's simple, it's modern, and it moves us quickly. We're going to demonstrate that process. You have to know about keywords and what are these things? Seed keywords, head keywords. This is the smallest part of a keyword for SEOs. This is one word or two words put together. These words have high volume, and don't worry, I'll give you good examples. They're high competition. They're 1 to 2 words. They have a lower conversion rate in general. When you think about water, that is a seed keyword. Water bottles are a seed keyword. You can call seed keywords. Then we're going to talk about something called long tail and short tail keywords. Just know that seed keywords are the fundamental component of a string of words that we use in SEO. Water, shoe, dog, digital marketing. Then we get into long tail keywords. They're longer words. They're 3+ words usually. But the defining characteristics of them are they have low search volume, which we're going to learn how to do and see, and they have low competition. Here is a beautiful graph. And in this graph, search volume, more people search the word dog versus dog hike, right? The shorter the word, the more search volume. I always use the word picture. If you type in the word picture into Google, many searches come up. Then you have long tail. And long tail has the least amount of competition, but it does have a higher conversion rate. And a conversion rate would be what somebody's doing on your website, an action they're taking, right? Are they signing up for an email? Are they buying something? Are they filling out a form? Why? We need to know about the fundamental parts of the keywords because we have search intent, which we already learned about 2 weeks ago, right? We're going to go over it. And we have modifiers. It's the reason we search, right? You know that we put our intent into categories. Navigation, remember, I already know the business. I type in their name. When you go to Google or Facebook, you're doing a navigational search. Informational searches are like how to, you're just learning about products. 80% of searches are those. And then you have commercial investigation and transactional. If I have hiking as my keyword, I'm going to have modifiers, where to find, how to, what are. Modifiers are things that add on to your keyword. And you can have transactional, the word buy, deal, discount are all part of a keyword. Buy hiking shoes, right? The buy is the modifier, that's transactional. Hiking shoes can be the seed term or a short tail or a head term. All those are intertwinable. And then we can actually group them. Now, there is some interchangeability, and this does take some getting used to. Most informational searches happen, and that's where blog posts come up a lot of the time, right? You're doing guides and tutorial and providing resources and tips and FAQs, navigational brand names. You're typing into Facebook to get there. You just already know where you want to go. And then there's commercial, which that's the step before Ahrefs were the people that added the commercials. They added this fourth element. I think the two elements can be put together because sometimes you are going to type in best something or other and you'll actually probably buy it. Just keep in mind that keywords and search intent are very intertwined, and that's why we learn about the SERPs, because we want to know people's intent. And we can see that from looking at the search engine results pages because they're filled with much great information. Google calls these three types of search intent: informational, transactional, and informational and navigational. These three types of search intent are what Google calls moments, and they're I want to know, how to, I want to go, where is, I want to do, which could be I'm going to buy something, right? Or I want to buy. That's how Google separates them out. We're always going to look at keywords and try to figure out what is the intent. Now we're going to talk about keywords and strategy. What is keyword research? That's the foundation of SEO. It's the way we go through identifying what one of our web pages focuses on. We try to find queries or keywords that people are actually typing into Google. One of the goals is to generate the right traffic using the right content. We use keywords and we create content with them. Sometimes you can write the content and then find a keyword. Sometimes you can find a keyword and then go write some content. What is a keyword research strategy? Each page, we focus on one or two themes. Keywords, we're talking about a specific thing on our page. And we do this to give Google a signal about what our page is about. We follow other SEOs and what they've done over years and years doing testing. How we organize our keywords is a process that we have to develop over time. In my personal opinion, it takes generally about 2 hours to do keyword research for one page. If you're doing a whole site, it's going to take longer. It's also said you should reevaluate your keyword strategy. SEO does take a long time to work. You're going to be working with a company long term. That's the goal, especially as SEO changes rapidly. An SEO wants to be employed by a company for as long as possible. But doing that, you have to be successful. And then maybe one day they won't need you, and that's okay. Our strategy for keyword research is we don't have one. No, I'm just joking. We identify the page we want to find a keyword. We do some searches. We use the SERPs to our advantage. We're looking for a keywords. The first word we pick might not be the word we end up with. We use other tools like the Google Keyword Planner and Google Trends to dig deeper. Why is this important to actually have a strategy around an idea we're going to talk about that's specific? Because the higher you get up in Google, the more you get clicked on. And the first three spots get almost all the clicks. The first spot gets 35% of all traffic that ends up on Google. If you can actually get to the first three spots for a business, you can change that whole business. But it is very challenging. There is a lot of competition, a lot of knowledge about SEO. You have to be strategic in what you do, and you have to be able to say why you're picking that keyword to a business owner. And to be honest, business owners don't want to know. But if you look at this graph, we look at the click-through rate here. How often do they see a result? And then how often does one click on the results? There's 10 results, not including all that extra stuff on there now. 10 results on a page. And then remember this, we saw short tail, long tail, middle tail, and conversion rate. Long tail over time converts better. And there's a great example, WordPress themes, that's short tail, right? That's a seed keyword. Middle or slightly long tail, right? WordPress themes for a blog, and then long tail, free responsive WordPress themes for a blog. Just more specific and less searches, but hopefully more conversions. We focus on long tail keywords because they're more specific. Less people are searching for these. We have a fighting chance, right? As small business owners, generally, we can't beat the Walmarts of the world. We can't beat the Amazons. We have to look at how we do things a little differently. If you see in the bottom last little bit of text, we're going to be looking for search volume that's in between 100 and 1,000. We'll figure that out by going into the Google Keyword Planner. Of course, more on this later. I have a template for you. When doing keyword research, what do you need to know? You do need to know who your customers are. Why? Because then you can speak to them. You also need to know what they're looking for. You also need to speak in their language, right? And what type of content fits their intent. Where do they find you? Are you blogging? Is that how somebody finds you? And then do they slowly over time become a client, or are they just searching to buy something? Our keyword strategy is to basically brainstorm and then go to the search engine results pages and identify if we could rank, possibly, and is it a keyword we're interested in, right? Who's the competition? We really want to see what's going on in the SERP before we make a final choice on our keywords. We also use other tools like the Google Keyword Planner and Google Trends, and we record what we do. When you do a whole website and that's what you're focused on, it can take maybe a day, right? A 10-page website. If you're doing a page at a time, it's 2 hours ago. We identify broad topics. We refine those topics. We try to isolate the best keyword string to pick. We note why, and we use spreadsheets and we track our keywords. Over time, as you get better at SEO, your website's going to change and your strategy is going to look different from year 1 to year 6. How do you find long tail keywords? SERPs tell us a lot. They're important. We're going to use the autocomplete. We're going back to the search engine results pages. We're going to look at something called Answer the Public because it's super fun. And there's something coming out soon called YouTube Insights where we're going to get keywords. That was just mentioned yesterday. We're looking forward to getting that because we'll actually see what people are searching to learn. And your secret weapon, your Google Search Console. This is where we actually end up picking a lot of keywords. In the chat, there's going to be a copy of this. When you open it, it'll come up on the page and it'll look like this. And this is just your keyword research. Now, remember, these are yours. You change them to see how they fit you. And this is just a starting point if you want one. You might already have a process. We're going to go to your secret weapon and Google Trends. We're going to look at all these things to help us decide on a keyword. And I'm actually going to go through a bit of the process of doing keyword research because I want us all to make sure we're going to be practicing this over time. And if you don't know what Google Trends is, it's another free product from Google where you can just go and compare words over time and see searches. A good example would be Google changed its name that used to be AdWords, right? And if you go and look at, do I want to pick the keyword AdWords or Google Ads? You can see the graph over time because less people are going to be searching for AdWords and more people are going to start searching for Google Ads because that's the current name. So a trend over time, if you're picking pantyhose or leotards, you want to see which one's more competitive. What are people searching more? And then the keyword planner. We use the keyword planner a lot. Other people use a lot of other tools, SEMrush, Ahrefs. word stream. There's lots of places to spend money and look for keywords. We stick mainly with our true source, Google. Just know that your keyword strategy is going to be your own over time. Let's dive in. Okay, in the chat, feel free to click on that template. I got mine open. You'll see some directions. Do you have to follow them? Sure, maybe not. You have this keyword research Google sheet to play around with. We sometimes will jot down the wish list of our clients. What's the competition using? What are some modifiers? Using the seed term and the modifier, you could put in where in the funnel you want to do this. They call it TOFO, MOFO, and BOFO. Top of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel. We know that top of funnel is informational. Middle of funnel is probably a bit of navigational. Can be slightly informational. And then it moves into transactional. And that's both bottom of the funnel. Fun. I just have extra tabs for you to copy and paste information if you want, extra resources. I would change this per how you want to use it. You can see here I was doing a bit of keyword research. I have a blog post I want to write. It is about the search engine results pages. We're going to go through a little bit of this process. The search engine results pages was the keyword I wanted to look up information. Start with an idea, write it down. That's how I started. I go over to Google. But I do a navigational search, and then I'm starting my keyword research. I've written down, and I found this term. This is for, let's write a blog post. Now, what are my results? What is going on here? I got ads. We know that people are bidding on this keyword, and we know that there is a rich snippet, a featured snippet, and word streams there. They're going to be hard to compete with. I'm a small guy in my industry, right? Word stream's a big player. MailChimp, Wikipedia. Wiki, what is this telling us? This is telling us that it's an informational search, right? And that's what people are looking for when they search this keyword. Then I'm going to go parts of a search engine results. Yes, I like that one too. I'm going to grab that keyword. I'm going to add it here. And then I'm going to go back over and just look at, is there anything else that makes sense? As I'm looking for a keyword, I can see what people are searching as well. So maybe I want to add different ideas to a sheet, questions I'll answer. I think in the template there is a content ideas. That's where I would put the questions. Sometimes your questions can become a keyword. I hit the space bar here and words come up, and then I hit here, and oftentimes other words will come up. This is where you'll get best showing up. And as I keep going, I'm not seeing anything. What am I going to do? And if I go back to my original search, what am I seeing here? I can go down to the bottom of the page. Okay, examples, parts of your search engine results page, a result from, then I want to maybe go here. And what else is going on? Other keywords. As I dig into things and I search around and I look at who is showing up, I develop a list of keywords. A great place to go is sometimes Wiki. Can I find any more keywords? You can go down a rabbit hole. When I started doing my keyword research, I started here and I got to this. I spend about 2 hours, as I said, per page. Can you get faster? Yes, sometimes you'll find your keyword in 5 minutes. And then sometimes you definitely won't. This is a long tail keyword. It's going to be for a blog post because that's top of funnel. Why are keywords important in research? How do the tips in conducting online research help you find the correct query result? That's interesting. Then, I'm going to go get that one. And I'm going to just create a list. Now I'm going to have a bunch of keywords. It looks like I have 4 keywords here. Okay. And we're going to take these words and we're going to go look in the Google Keyword Planner. and we're going to go look in Google Trends to see if